Deep in the dusty heart of Egypt, under layers of sand and secrets, archaeologists unearthed a tomb unlike any other. It wasn't the final resting place of a pharaoh or a high priest, but a stark, undecorated chamber holding a single, anonymous sarcophagus. This was the tomb of Khepren, a name whispered only in hushed tones among the excavation team, a name found nowhere in the grand annals of Egyptian history. There were no golden artifacts, no elaborate murals depicting a glorious journey to the afterlife. Just stone, silence, and a chilling sense of despair. Who was Khepren? The question hung heavy in the dry desert air. The mummy inside was wrapped hastily, without the sacred amulets and intricate bindings that guaranteed safe passage. The canopic jars, meant to hold the vital organs for the journey ahead, were empty. It was a burial of profound neglect or perhaps profound punishment. The deceased had been denied the essential rites, the magical spells from the Book of the Dead that served as a map and a password for the soul's perilous voyage through the underworld. According to ancient beliefs, this was the most terrible fate imaginable. A soul denied passage was not granted peace or oblivion. It was condemned to an eternity of wandering, trapped between the world of the living and the realm of the dead. A lost soul, forever searching for a gateway it could never find. The priests of Anubis, the jackal-headed god of embalming and the afterlife, meticulously guided the dead. To bypass their rituals was to challenge the cosmic order itself. It was an act of supreme heresy or a sign of unspeakable disgrace. And then the team noticed the walls. The smooth limestone of the burial chamber was ravaged by deep, frantic scratches, claw marks, hundreds of them gouged into the stone with a desperation that seemed to echo through the millennia. It was as if something or someone had tried to claw their way out. The marks were densest around the sealed entrance, a silent testament to a horrifying, lonely struggle against an unyielding prison of rock. The archaeologists, seasoned professionals accustomed to the solemnity of tombs, felt a cold dread creep over them. This wasn't a place of rest, it was a cage. The local workers, men whose ancestors had lived in the shadow of the pyramids for generations, refused to enter the tomb after dark. They spoke of ancient curses, not the Hollywood kind with shambling mummies, but something far more insidious. They whispered of a restless spirit that Ka, a person's life force, that would become a vengeful shadow if its journey was obstructed. A soul in such agony, they said, would latch onto the living, seeking to share its torment, its eternal loneliness. The claw marks on the wall were not just a sign of a past struggle, they were a warning. As the excavation continued, strange occurrences began to plague the site. Tools would vanish from locked containers, only to reappear in impossible places. Whispers seemed to drift on the wind when no one was speaking, and shadows danced in the periphery of vision. One night, a guard swore he saw a fleeting, human-like shape moving through the moonlit ruins, a silhouette that seemed to dissolve into the sand. Was it exhaustion, the desert playing tricks on the mind? Or was the lost soul of Khepren beginning to stir, disturbed from its long, tormented slumber? The lead Egyptologist, a man of science and reason, tried to dismiss these events. He focused on the puzzle. Why was Khepren buried this way? Was it a disgraced noble, a traitor to the pharaoh? Or perhaps a victim of a sudden plague, buried in haste to prevent its spread? The lack of any inscription was the most baffling part. In a civilization obsessed with legacy and eternal identity, to be rendered nameless was the ultimate erasure. It meant that someone wanted Khepren to be utterly forgotten, not just by history, but by the gods themselves. One of the junior researchers, poring over fragmented papyrus scrolls found in a nearby unrelated dig, stumbled upon a partial text. It was a dark incantation, a ritual not of blessing, but of binding. It spoke of a soul so dangerous, so consumed by darkness and life, that it could not be allowed to enter the Duat, the Egyptian underworld. The ritual described a method to trap the soul within its own corpse, to create an eternal prison of flesh and bone. The spell warned that to disturb such a prison would be to unleash a form of chaos the world had not seen since the dawn of creation. The text referred to the bound entity as the Eater of Hearts. Could Khepren have been this Eater of Hearts? The pieces began to form a terrifying picture. This wasn't a victim. It was a monster. The hasty burial, the lack of rites, the empty jars, it was all deliberate. It was a desperate measure to contain an evil so profound that even the ancient Egyptians, with their deep understanding of life, death, and magic, feared its power in the afterlife. The claw marks weren't from Khepren trying to get out. They were the physical manifestation of a soul's eternal, powerless rage, tearing at the confines of its tomb from the inside. The team now faced a chilling dilemma. Their scientific mission was to study the mummy, to uncover its secrets using modern technology. But the ancient texts and the growing sense of dread suggested that opening the sarcophagus might be an act of unimaginable folly. The warnings were clear. This wasn't a treasure to be discovered, but a Pandora's box sealed by their ancestors. The soul of Khepren wasn't lost, it was imprisoned. And after 3,000 years of solitary confinement, it was surely hungry for freedom. The project was officially halted under a cloud of secrecy. The official report cited structural instabilities in the tomb, but those who were there know the truth. They know that deep beneath the Egyptian sands lies a prison, not a tomb. And inside, a being of ancient malevolence waits. The claw marks on the stones serve as a timeless reminder that some doors are best left unopened, and some souls are better left lost. The desert keeps many secrets, and the secret of Khepren, the nameless one, the eater of hearts, is one that humanity should pray remains buried forever. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the shadows of the past. If you find these hidden histories as fascinating as I do, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more mysteries from the ancient world. Stay curious and stay safe.